And we click over here, and now Chief is front and center everywhere. So what I'm doing here is I've opened a new plan using Chief Architect's regular, what do they call it, plan? Let me go find that for you. Yeah, the whatchamacallit plan. No. Oh, that's really big. Let's make it do this. So when you install Chief Architect, I don't know about the versions other than the one I'm using Premier X14. This is your default residential. You either get this one, which is Imperial, or this one with the capital M that's metric. So I've bought templates from really good Chief users, but I thought it would be unfair to just jump in and start doing things. And maybe you're at the beginning, and this is how you're going to start. So we could just spend a little few minutes talking about all the things that I've learned. Like, for example, all these icons right here in this kitchen, that's from Renee Rabbit. He will sell you a kitchen pack that will make designing kitchens really quick and easy and accurate. And I don't know how to turn those off to make this a out-of-the-box experience. So I just won't use them until later. But let's start with some things. One thing that Chief is really kind of goofy about is if you are not near reference point 0,0, then sometimes you have weird anomalies happen. Something will be connected on part of your drawing, but then it will be several thousand feet away, connected to something else, and things just act screwy. And it usually only happens when you import things. So most things import right on top of 0,0. And so to find out where that is and something useful, as you see, I'm using the scroll wheel to zoom out, and these little grid lines get smaller. And I don't like using those, but that's a personal choice. You can, I'll show you where we can turn those on and off. It's right over here. But let's go to this X tool up here and go to input, and it's already defaulted that if I just hit enter, I want to do 0,0. I don't know what next does. I just usually hit OK. Well, next placed it. Okay. So this here is 0,0. And if you look down here on the bottom, you'll see how the cursor moves. So if I hover right over that, it's an 8 and 11/16. So I'm not quite dead on it, but that's 0,0. The next thing you want to figure out is how far zoomed in or out are you? So if my house is going to be, I don't know, let's say 60 feet wide. I've left clicked, I've held the left click button down, I'm dragging to the right, and then just hit tab. And that went 550 inches. So let's just say 60 feet, enter. So there's a 60-foot wide line. So now I can use the scroll wheel, scroll in. And then if you have a scroll wheel, you can push down on it and it'll drag the canvas. So now that is 60 feet wide. So that kind of gets you zoomed in where you want to be. I'm going to turn off these grid lines. Although you may, I've never done this, but you can set the snaps to be like every inch. And then as you're drawing, it's not really tactile feedback, but you'll get used to seeing how your cursor stutters and you'll feel it, but it's not necessary. So I'm going to turn these off. And I know that's my 0,0. And the next thing you want to do is say, well, I want to build a little shop. Let's do that. Let's go with a 16 by 24 shop with 10-foot walls on a slab. So the first thing you really want to do is go up to your preferences and set those. So I clicked that little wrench, or you could have gone up into the toolbar, and under floors, floor levels, double click the first floor, and I said 10 feet, right? So some people are going to look at this and go, 109 1/8. What's going on with that? That's 9 foot 1 1/8. And if you add, I'm just going to rattle it off. If you add a stud that's 104 5/8 plus 1.5 inch bottom plate and 2 1.5 inches for your top and double plate, it equals that. So Chief actually draws exactly, well, I could draw whatever you want, but it comes out of the box ready to go with 9 foot walls that are correct to the material. Unless you live in Canada or somewhere, theirs was like 104 1/4 in Vancouver, but it's usually 104 5/8. The easy way to remember that, 8 foot stud, 7 foot 8 5/8, 9 foot stud, 8 foot 8 5/8. Everything's something foot 8 5/8 as it grows. So we can either type in 10 foot 1 1/8, or you can just come in here and go plus 12 and go back in there. Now you're at 10 foot 1 1/8 for this height right here. We're going to see, it's thinking we're going to put in a floor system. So we're going to change that. Oh, you know what? Instead of changing it that way, I'm just going to do this. Ready? Boom. And look at that. It took off all kinds of stuff. And it still thinks we're going to have a floor finish, but we're not. It's going to be concrete. So we'll delete that, hit OK. And if you wanted that back, you would just check the default box and it will go back, because I'll show you later where all the defaults are set. It's going to try to add base molding all the way around, and it's a shop, so we're not going to put that right now. And ceiling finish. Okay, so it's already looking at how you're going to paint this. I don't think we're... It's going to be plywood when we're done. So, all right, let's hit done. And Chief starts on the first floor, and we're going to go to the walls and double click the exterior wall. And it comes up with nothing really important on this one for what we're doing. And not so much there. So roof's kind of cool. You can tell the wall what pitch you want it to be, so that when you tell it to auto roof, and if you had certain walls that were different than the rest of the house, you could do that right here in the wall dialog, and it supersedes whatever you dictate the roof to do. Like if you set these at 12 and 12 and you tell the rest of the house be 8 and 12, these will always be 12 and 12 until you change it. So that's something to remember. So we're going to leave this as hip right now, which means all the roof pitches go in perpendicular to the outside wall at whatever angle right here, 8 and 12. So this is all good. 18-inch overhang. Normally I would do 16. It just depends on what kind of overhang you're doing and if you can get your gun up in there. But 16 or a shy under, you can get 3 rips out of plywood if you do closed soffit. So that's what I always do. We're not doing a foundation wall. That would be a crawl space. Now, I've seen that done here too. Especially if you have frost issues, you have to dig down and put stem walls and then backfill and compact the dirt up to where you're going to pour a 4-inch or whatever you want to pour inside those stem walls. That's totally up to you. But for now, we're just going to do a monolithic slab. This is the one I really wanted to get to, wall types. Right now, it's defaulted at siding 6, and you can see all the different types of walls that Chief can do. If you lived in part of the country where 2x4s are fine for insulation, like for example, this is a little shop. I might want to go with 2x4s because maybe they're cheaper. And something I like to do is I will add color to the walls so that I can tell exterior from interior or by size. And then when I print to a layout, I'll just grayscale everything so it doesn't matter. Because I've had people complain that, what does the colors mean? It means nothing. Well, it should have a legend. Okay. And the other thing you want to do is make it somewhat transparent. So let's just do 50. And then that way you can see behind what's going on, because that's going to come in handy. So we've got siding 4 green. And maybe I'll do siding 6 also, because where I'm at, everybody gets sketchy if you don't do 2x6 on the outside, even if it's like totally structurally fine to go 2x4. Everybody here is just used to 2x6. But what we're doing there, okay. So now, in fact, I'll go with 2x6, just cause. Wall cap, that's usually like a knee wall with a piece of trim on top. Wall covering rail. Yeah, none of this stuff matters for what we're going to do. I don't turn labels on, but you could. So I don't know what label. See, there's not even a wall label here. But if you were doing like wall panels, or you need to label them, here's where you would do that. So we've picked 2x. Now here's another cool trick. Right click to start your wall. Right click and drag. And get kind of close to like whatever, what I say, 16 feet. And then let go. And then you're still connected. And I'm not touching any of the buttons. I'm just dragging the mouse. And then left click, drag, and left click, and click. So now I'm going to hit escape. There's a box. And we have no idea what length it is. There's a couple ways you can manage that. Just click on a wall and it puts in a temporary dimension. And I don't know why it does it in this pretend handwriting font, but that's fine. And we were going to go 24 feet, but always, I like to be 1 inch under, because, yeah, I had a builder question me on this once. I said, well, all my dimensions are to framing. So if foundation is to framing and framing is to framing, then when you run your OSB out, your finished over the OSB will be the size you're talking about. And it just feels correct to me that way. That part of the building is exactly what everybody was talking about. It's 24 by 16. And it's just something I do. I don't know if it's good, bad, or indifferent, but it's how it is. So this can be deleted and added later. I tend to move it over here. And when you double click inside this room, it always starts with unspecified. And so that we can get a concrete floor and have it do a lot of auto stuff, we're just going to call it a garage. And here we will call it shop. And if I was to hit OK, the word shop's going to appear. Let's just do it. Boom. Shop. That's the default. So you double click that, and it's a bunch of links and stuff. So it doesn't really do anything. What I tend to do is this. Delete. Go up to text. Rich text. Center. See, Chief Blueprint. We're going to change that too. I'll show you. The only reason I don't like the fakey handwriting is when plans get wet on the job site, and right at the one point you need to know something, you can't quite read it because it's in some weird twisty font. So we're going to go, we're going to use some macros. These are pretty cool. Global. Room information, and we're going to go room name. There it is. Room name or room type, either one works. And it's going to be in lowercase, but we're going to use this here in a minute to fix that. So I'm going to hit, I like that to be, sure, 6 is fine. And then 4.5. So now at 4.5, we're going to do another macro. That you saw what they did. They had the room dimensions. Sometimes room area is cool, and there's standard, which is how you pay your taxes, which includes the walls. So a standard room area is going to be one wall on the left included all the way over to the face of the next wall on the right, kind of thing, so that it splits half and half. But if you were wanting to know the exact internal square foot of that, you could go interior, and that's going to be from the face of framing across the face of framing inside. And every good contractor would know to add percentage over that because, you know, things break and happen. So we're going to add that and see how it got smaller. We're going to hit return. We're going to go to one more with the room info. This is the one that so yeah, you can do like some places they'll have the ceiling height built in. So you can do this ceiling height. And one of these is like finished height. I think this is framed height. And then let's just say that's good enough. And then what I like to do is highlight this, make them all caps, hit OK. And there. Now you see how it just throws up 121 1/8. So right here, you're going to have to go CLG : and what did that other one have? It had square feet. So you might want to differentiate that and go internal : and we could probably make this bold. So there's that. And what's nice is now that you have this, yeah, watch this. Let's say you had another room somewhere. Well, first we got to go to walls, go here, double click, pick interior 4, good. And I like to make my interior 4 color, I don't know, light blue like this at 50%. Hit OK, hit OK. Let's say we put in, that's a little big, but okay, so let's say this is like the air compressor room. So you double click in that space and we will call it, we'll leave it at that, we'll call it mech. The reason why I didn't change it under its drop down is it'll change the floor. It won't be a garage floor anymore. You'll have to go in and change it, but we'll call this the mech room. And what's cool is, of course, this won't fit. But if I copy and paste it, it reads the information from in there. So because it doesn't fit, we would probably go like this. So it changes back to shop. Click on this edge, right click, drag, and then drag, and see what I did there. Once I'm inside that space, the arrow that's attached is reading at the point of the arrow. So that's kind of handy. Oh, excuse me. It's not even, what is it, 7:30? I'm yawning. And so then we can take a look at our buildings so far. We go here, here. There's our building, and yeah, they put sheetrock in there. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to go back here and go to these walls here. And we're going to go, there's a shortcut, open object. I have it as a keyboard, either OO or as a Stream Deck, which I just noticed my Stream Deck's not working. Let me go turn that on. Well, anyways, oh. There's Stream Deck. Bring it over here so you can see it. So this is Open Object 00. If you have a Stream Deck, it's pretty cool. It's just a device sits on your desk and you just push a button and it does the shortcuts for you really quick. But what I want to do is I want to make a custom siding wall. So this is siding 6, and I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to change this name to plywood. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this. I just one time clicked on drywall, and I'm going to go to sheathing products, plywood. Let's go that way. And hit OK. OK. And then we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to assume that define, copy, double click, plywood. And we're going to put plywood on both. Okay. It's not the, see, you click anywhere in here and it reacts with the cell. So if I clicked here, I could change its thickness, you know, that sort of thing. Click over here, it's going to be sheathing panels, plywood. And actually, you know what? We're going to match the other one. No, we're going to not. We're going to do it vertical so we can see a difference. And this one, same thing. Sheathing panels, plywood, horizontal. That way we'll have some difference. First stud, yeah. Okay. Oh, and while we're there, I need to find out, are we on 16-inch center? So click this. Yes, we are. Use default framing material. Sure. Huh. All right. Well, sure. And while we're at that, I want to check this because I don't know what these settings are. They might have these insulated. I mean, that's what I would do if I was building a shop. Oh, see, they're on 24-inch on center. That's not right. That's not what I do. I do 16. Good thing we checked. R21, that's max insulation for it. Okay. So hit OK. Go back and look at our cool picture. There we go. So plywood was run horizontally in here, and it's run vertically inside the little mechanical room. So you can add doors and stuff. You can add anything in 3D. It's kind of hard to work with, but let's say we had a roll top door right here. And a door right there, maybe. So here's some weird stuff. Where's my little view tool? This thing here, the mouse with the little things. This is what you want because then it gives you this. And now you can left click and move stuff. So I don't know if somebody wants that as a door to a shop. Don't know. Not really what I need to worry about right now, but oh, we can throw some windows in too. So like I was saying, you can draw in 3D or 2D, whatever you want. It's way more precise in 2D. I'm going to take this shop label and park it up here. So like if you click on this, this is set up to go to the edges of the windows, and those are temporary dimensions. So to adjust that, well, maybe you like that. I don't know. But here's what's cool. Watch this. So it says like 4 inches, but you actually click on the 4. Wow, well, it is 4. Imagine that. Sometimes when you click on these numbers, like this little weird number here, see that long decimal place? So let's say you wanted it exactly 12. You just click on the item, click on the number, and type in the round number. I'm definitely changing that. And let's go do that. Let's go to text, text styles. And I don't like that, so I just grab the whole shooting match and I go edit. See how it defaults to Chief Blueprint? So there's only kind of a couple styles I like. One way down here is Apple came out with this for their devices. The Pro Text is pretty good and the Pro is pretty good because it's thin and clean. And the other one that is cross-platform everybody has is Arial. I always do uppercase. Don't change this now because all these are scaled. All the text in here are scaled, so you would mess it up. By layer, so the color is going to be by layer. So hit OK. Hit OK. Done. So you see what happened there? Now, here's something else. I don't care for the door to be that far off the door. So when you double click a door and you get all this information, you go down to label and you'll see that they've offset it in the Y direction, which is the up and down. And so I just do 0, enter, and I can live with that. I like having that there. Now they've got this white background in the text, and that in a way, sometimes that's good. Sometimes it's a pain. I have seen Windows. Oh man, we got to even go set that up too. There's a feature in the preferences where you always go back to the same option on this side. It's pretty cool. But like here, I don't mind the label being off the window. But in the doorway, when I'm in a house inside, there's doors everywhere. It's nice to keep the label in the doorway, out of the way of whatever else you're dimensioning. But nothing's messing with this out here. Hardly anything. So we'll take that to 0. Let's throw a door in here. Yeah, we need this to be big. Because then I can go with a 3.0 door in case it needs it. And you can, boom. Now, if you notice, it's kind of tight on the, it's actually showing the sheetrock or the plywood or whatever. And if you're not keen on that, there's a couple things. First, turn off the line weights because you don't need to see those when you're drawing. And secondly, click on a wall and the wall will say these things. Like, that's another thing I got to show. That's set up here. Have all these checked, but do not show all layers because when you click an item, you just want to see the layers that are affected by that item. And if you turn on main layers only, what that did, let's see if I can get out of here. It shut off the plywood. All you're seeing is the framing. And then it kind of helps you to see like this door is not really centered. And if that was a big issue for it to be centered, there's a center command. It's the two arrows pointing toward each other. And I made it a shortcut of CC. So then you just hover in the room. And I don't know if you saw that, but the doors slipped over just a little bit. So now they're even. That comes in more handy when you're trying to center a window or you're trying to do something that requires alignment. That center tool is pretty cool. And so if you ever do get a Stream Deck and you get the 15 key one, well, actually, there's other tools out there too. Dinner's getting cold. Hold on. Touch Portal works on an iPad or a phone. And it's unlimited. You could have, I put on 11 rows and 11 columns. So 121 buttons on one screen. And each one's the same thing. And you have to make these thumbnails. I'll show you real quick. Where am I going? So All I did was in Chief Architect, thought about all the tools I needed, and I wanted a black square. I wanted yellow text. What is this, blocked? Yeah, there's blocked. I wanted yellow text. I wanted blue text down here that showed the command so that I would muscle memory and go, oh yeah, point to point move, PP, open object, OO, that kind of thing. And then I just drew these shapes and put them in here and then blocked them. You don't have to block them, but what you do is you zoom in as full as you can. You use use this tool right over here. Then you use a screen capture tool to go exactly from the corner to the corner. And then you paste that into Stream Deck. Like if let me just do one. You would do text. You would drag it to a blank. What shortcut would I want? Let's say I wanted save. Well, text won't work then. Hold on. Hotkey works. Click in here. Command S. Title. Save. Now, I don't have, what do you call it? I don't have something drawn from Chief to show the little floppy disk icon, but I could go get one and stick it on there. And now there's a save option right here on my Stream Deck. If I hit save, I just saved it. But that's a whole other video. You don't need to have a Stream Deck, but it's just as time goes on, you get really quick. Having less time, things. Oh yeah. So this will pop up sometimes. It saves backup files. And what this is saying is that I have 19. Somewhere in the preferences, I've told it, hey, once I hit 14, let me know. And so I could go in there and delete like 18 of these backup files, clean it, but I'll handle that later. So we're back here. While we're at it, let's do this 3D view. This is kind of fun. Let's do it. Did we frame these walls yet? No, we didn't. Okay. So let's do our doors and windows and everything, and then we're going to frame the building, and then we'll look at it framed. I need to know this outside measurement. It needs to, there you go, temporary. Give me, let me think about this. A 24. 32. Let's make it 36. The reason why I did that was I can get a 32-inch, well, probably even less than that. I can get a Simpson strong wall in here to help mitigate lateral movement in this wall because it's a big door opening. And it's a 9080, so it's 8 feet tall. It gives me a 24-inch radius turn for the whatever type of door. If it's an actual roll top door, then it doesn't really matter. Just whatever, however it fits above there. What kind of window? That's a weird size window. Let's go with 304. I'll see how that looks. I could. No, you know what I'm gonna do? Boom. Slider. They're cheaper. And so I'm having trim on the outside. And no, I'm not doing any casing or trim on the inside. So we're not using that. And we don't have a lintel on the inside. We could use one on the outside. That would look cool. Sill. We do not have a sill on the inside or the outside. I'm not doing lights in a slider. Opening indicators are cool. Rough opening. So there's all kinds of, like, a lot of times the windows I put in are undersized. So when they're ordered 3 foot by 5 foot, they actually come a ½ inch smaller in both directions. So where I live, we have headers that are this thick, so we only need one. And usually you start at 7¼ Now the header over the garage is going to be a beast. So let's just do this. And let's say you wanted more of these. You can pick a default. 4 inches is a weird size. You're going to need like 6 there. Minimum. You can click the little wrench with the check mark next to it. Hang on, you got to highlight this. I'm clicking the wrong spot. Come down here, the wrench with the plus next to it. Hit that, and now this is your default window. So you can just go copy. I just did Control C, and then just left click paste, Command V, paste. And let's say we don't need to see this. We'll just delete it. Or I could have put it on a layer and turned it off. So either way, let's do that. Z. What layer is this on? Text. So what I end up doing for stuff like this is I'll highlight them both. When you go to appearance, it's on the text layer. So if I ever wanted to turn off other text and they were all in the same layer, I'd be screwed. So instead, I'm going to copy this, double click the number, I want the number 2, and call it room labels. Hit OK. Hit OK. Now see what's highlighted is right there, so I can just display that away. And this also probably needs to go on that same one. What is this? Is this CAD? No, it's text. So we're going to double OO. Line styles where that hides. Come here, pick room labels, hit OK. OK. Boom. So now when I write other text, wide. That's so weird. It's supposed to be, oh, you know how to do that. Double click this. Pick your Arial. Pick your size. 1/4 inch scale, I like to use 4½ inches. Pick your color. Hit OK. Now it's closed. Now it'll remember when I go to open up look at this. So it's 4½. It's Arial, and then I can say yeah. I don't even know if I have a roll top example. I'm just putting text on the plan just to show you. And it's left justified, but if I did this and then I did CC, I could center it. And that's text. And so if I had foundation text on the foundation layer, I would have text, comma, foundation. So you just don't have the same text all over the place. And in fact, let's go and see if we can't go down. That means there's not a floor down here yet. We're going to build that. We're just going to go over here, build foundation. It's going to say it defaults walls with footings, which is like a crawl space or basement. But we already decided monolithic slab. We're not lowering the garage floor at anything because we're not attached to anything. All right. And we can automatically rebuild. That's kind of nice. Automatically rebuild, like if you did something to this wall, the foundation underneath would rebuild underneath it. Boom, hit it, and look, it took us down to level 0, and it automatically labeled that space. I like to delete those because I like to have my own. So this is this has some kind of footing built in. I wonder what, I bet it's that 16-inch. Let's go see. Here, back up, cross section. I should have a shortcut for that. Yeah, see, I don't even have one. I gotta have one of those. I gotta figure out where I would put that on my Stream Deck, like on another page or something. So there's, and that being on bugs me. Sit here. Grid snaps. Yes, I don't like that. All right. So that's the slab. Some places will, in the form, they'll set a 2x6 across and drop a 2x4 in and pour the concrete so that there's like a 5.5 little ledge or a 3.5 or whatever they need. But this is completely flat. Perfect for a shop. I don't know what the ceiling is in there, but it's got something. It looks like it's thicker than plywood, so this could be sheetrock. I'll have to go back and look at that. So yeah, there's that. So now what I can do is I'll show you. I'll do some text down here. Let's go. So this is another thing that you don't have built in. I've spent a lot of time making details and saving them. So even if I'm starting in the beginning, it still has all the different, plan view. That's what I want. All the different details I've made. So I'm gonna bring this over here so it's not really what I wanted. Yeah, so I don't even know where my drawing went. I guess it's down here. That's different. What I was gonna do was go foundation. Let's do anchor bolts. What size is that? Oh, we're gonna do this, huh? Somehow it doesn't know that that's aerial. And 4 inches, that's even smaller than typical. All right. Hold downs. There's probably, in where I live, there's going to be hold downs in this slab right there. And what is this? This is text foundation. Text foundation. So I need to move this. How do I do this? Boom. Yeah, this puts it back. That was a little bit crazy. And about any second now, all the toolbar icons up here are just going to disappear because I just feel like it. I'm going to turn off the fill so that everything bleeds through, and I'll just know that I need to probably come down here. And then we're going to go up a floor. See, now this is what's the weird part is I'm not used to working in this plan because here's your saved plan views. And I don't understand the whole working plan view because I like to set these up with, let's see, let's go down one. This I would call, let's see if it gives me save as. Yeah. I would save this as (001) foundation. Then I'd go up one. Actually, I'd go back down. And I'm going to edit that. And I'm going to use the foundation layer level. That was kind of strange. And it's going from this level. If I turn on the reference display, I want it to see the floor above. Okay. All that means is if I come over here and reference layer is over here somewhere, usually. There it is, right here. When I turn that on, you see the upstairs. You can't interact with it, but you can see it, and that helps you when you're on a different floor and you want to know if you're going to land in a wall or if you're going to, you know, go somewhere where downstairs it doesn't work. So now we're going to go up a floor. Go back to the working plan view. Yeah, sure. Go up. And we're going to save this as 010 floor 1. Or whatever naming scheme. I'm just making this one up as I go. And then edit. This is, every time I go to that plan view, it's going to open up on the first floor. And its reference display is going to be the floor below. Now, if I had a 2-story, I might want to know what's above me. So now, if I go to foundation, let's see, come back to floor 1, see how, that's how I like to do it. I like to drive from the saved plan view. So I'm working in the foundation. Everything I do down here, the text, everything's all there. And then I go, yeah, I got to go back up to floor 1. Okay, I'm at floor 1. And you can do this for anything. You can do an they have like, some of these are built in electrical. All that did was shut off the layers. And what's nice is it probably only shows the, over here, it probably only shows the electrical stuff. So let's try that. I'm in electrical. I want to put in, we're going to auto do this room. Boom. Look at that. And then we'll put in a couple lights. I don't know. One over the door. One over here. And this one didn't line up with that one. So we go center. All right. Now let's go back to floor 1. And let's say we don't want to see this in floor 1. So we turn off electrical. But then we go back to electrical. It's all there because it's turned on in electrical. That's how the save plans view works. And that, once you get that figured out in your head, then it's no longer cussing at the computer. And so what drove me was my layout pages of my plans that I'm going to submit for permit. Every page that's a plan view got its own plan, saved plan view. Like site plan, foundation, floor framing, floor plans, joisting, and roof all were in here in sequence, starting with the lower number being what I would work on if I'm in the bottom end of the building and the higher number in the top. And I even got crazy enough that I was using the IRC as a reference. Like it was 800 series was roof and 600 series was walls. So it just depends how you want to organize that. And I'm going to hit the brakes on this video and I'll pick it up later because that's a lot to absorb and play out with. So I'm going to find the stop now.